Hi everyone, welcome to the inaugural episode of Mo Data, Mo Problems, wherein we explore the fathoms of big data. And we have a new cast member with us today. Nick, would you like to say hello? Nick is a developer, and he's working with something that we're going to talk about today called HBase. And he was just discussing before we started shooting what, in sort of an abstract term, HBase is. Would you like to re-elucidate that?
So, the analogy I like to use is it's kind of like a toolbox, and we're comparing it to a traditional database. A traditional database is like a regular toolbox, so you know where to put like a screwdriver, and if you want to like join that to something else, like it might be on the same shelf as your hammer or a pair of pliers and the screwdriver in the toolbox, and they go in the same spots. HBase is more like Walmart in the tools section. You can go and there's millions of toolboxes to choose from, and you don't even have to put your screwdriver back in a particular toolbox. You can just kind of bring it to the front desk and be like, hey, here's my screwdriver, why don't you have this back? And they'll put it where it needs to go, and you don't even have to worry about it.
So HBase is a lot less particular than a traditional relational database?
It's a lot less particular. It's a little more difficult to do some of the joining sort of things you would do in a database without getting particularly technical. One of the biggest features and best features is it's distributed and scalable. The idea that you have these million toolboxes is transparent to me, the user.
You can see how many toolboxes you have.
Yeah, I just bring a screwdriver and I bring it to the front desk. I don't have to care about anything else. With the traditional database, if I have too many screwdrivers and my toolbox gets full, that's it, I'm screwed. I can go and get a bigger and better toolbox, but those are really expensive.
I see. And in the case of HBase, you have an infinite number of toolboxes?
You don't have an infinite number, but it's a lot easier to add more shelves to a Walmart than it is to get a more kick-ass toolbox. At some point, the toolbox gets really large and really heavy, and it needs to be made out of platinum, and it comes with expensive consultants who will teach you toolbox operation and toolbox opening.
Okay.
They have a lot of drawers, those fancy ones. So.
I see.
And then a Walmart is just kind of the door opens, some guy greets you, put your screwdriver down, your data's in HBase.
Okay. And HBase is open source, right?
HBase is in fact open source. It's an Apache project right now. It's built in the Hadoop stack, which is a pretty interesting platform stack for doing MapReduce. This all comes out of Google Bigtable, which is HDFS and Hadoop blend. HBase itself is built on HDFS, so
Hadoop file system.
Yeah. HDFS doesn't allow you to do random reads and writes very well. It's kind of a write once, read once methodology. HBase sits on top of HDFS and lets you get away with those random reads and writes. It's actually a logging file system. And changes you make are propagated to a log, and then later on it propagates all that down to HDFS. But it's totally transparent. It's really nice to work with as a developer. You don't have to do like JDBC connections and SQL. It just has this nice API you can call, and it makes things very, very clean. Okay.
From an IT perspective, what is HBase a lot harder to use than?
No, I mean, to install it, it just sits right on top of the Hadoop framework, so it's pretty much as easy as reaching out and grabbing a few additional packages.
You don't need to know JavaScript to run it as Java to run it as a.
No, not in the administrator world.
Okay.
And you can even look at specific Hadoop distributions like Cloudera, who integrate well with other pieces of the Hadoop framework. HBase is. It's not really a SQL replacement, but it's kind of like it's more OLTP than it is OLAP. It's less about data mining and more about transactions, is what it seems like to me. And then there's some cool languages like Nick was talking about that integrate on top of it, like Pig and Hive, that reduce that need to actually know Java and the MapReduce framework. So it lets administrators like me, who don't know Java very well, work with a higher level language. So if I wanted to insert or abstract data, then that would be the way to go.
Yeah, you actually brought up a good point. It is more like a transactional database, and it's because HBase came around. It's built on top of HDFS, as I mentioned, but HDFS doesn't handle small files very well, or records. The minimum block size, I think, is 64 megabytes. So if you have files that are smaller than that, you need to pack them, or you're just going to be wasting tons of space doing worthless writes and reads. Whereas HBase, a record can be like 64 bytes instead of 64 megabytes.
Mm-hmm.
So that sort of thing buys you a lot when you also have all of these terabytes of disk space, or even petabytes to use.
Okay, sounds good. What are there a lot of companies currently using HBase, or is it very
There's not millions or thousands of companies using it, as far as I know. There's a decent amount of active development around it right now. I believe they're about to release 9.2. Currently, in-house we use 9.04. Facebook uses a derivative of it. I think they've done some of their own in-house stuff to kind of shore up just some of the distribution. I understand probably for stability and stuff like that. I'm not sure exactly what they're trying to do.
and that's Cassandra?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
And then Twitter uses it too?
Yeah. And anyone who needs to do lots of message processing, so the messages themselves are pretty small data size wise, but you still need to do it on a large distributed scale. HBase is pretty good for that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the SharePoint salon last night, one of the guys that came used to work for TripAdvisor, and they're using it now because they have so many. It's really good for geographical differences, I guess.
Yeah, they just need to pull in a lot of ads.
Yeah.
See where the person's coming from.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Well, is there anything else we want to say?
No, I think that's a pretty good high-level overview of what HBase is.
All right, great. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.